All right, cool. Let me make it into big. So yeah, whenever you're ready.
So you just want me to go over my video, but on this, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Just the
whatever.
rotation part or the challenging part too?
I'm thinking why not do everything?
Everything. I could
Or
be here for like 12 hours
no,
talking
no,
about
no.
Rocket
Okay,
League.
why don't you do the most important things?
What game mode?
Let's start with the one with less cars, twos, because that had more views, anyways, than the
Yeah,
threes.
there's more people that plays twos than threes. Yep.
Yeah,
All right. Are you streaming then?
yeah. I'm streaming. And I have your permission to record this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You want me to mute?
sure. Okay. I guess we can start with defense.
And what exactly is this? This is the twos rotations that you're showing us to
Yeah,
begin with.
yeah.
Okay.
Are you streaming?
Oh, I'm just recording it on OBS.
He's recording it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I could send you the Google Drive, and I could post it on mine too to try to get people to up. What's it called? I'll put your YouTube in my description.
I'll drop you the link. The IDS pin.
All right. So 2v2 rotation defense. So we'll be going over the perspective of the blue team. So on defense, obviously the opponent has possession of the ball. It doesn't matter where exactly they're going with the ball. They just have possession. As a first man on defense, it's your job to force the challenge, force the opponent to do something. So it's not your job to drive towards the challenge and then turn around and in shadow and then turn and then challenge on goal line. It's your job to make them do something, either a drive challenge into a bump or a drive challenge and challenge the ball. Force him to take the ball into the corner, force him to hit the ball wide, force him to hit the ball in a place in which it's not heading towards the net. And that gives your team time to rotate back. Second man on defense, it's your job to make sure when you're rotating across the field first. So you always want to rotate across the field. So it doesn't matter where you are, you'll rotate across the field. You'll pick some pennies up, and your goal should be to rotate to back post through this boost pad into parallel to the net.
Why don't you drag the car? It might be helpful. If people can actually see. Like if you were to drag the blue car where you want it to get.
Yeah. Okay. So, maybe you challenged the ball beforehand and you didn't get anything from it, and now they have possession where they are. It's your job as a second man to make sure you're rotating across the field. Don't just rotate straight back. Rotate across the field. Go through some pennies, pick some pads up. And while rotating back, it's your job to make sure you rotate through this boost pad and rotate into parallel to the net. The reason you want to be parallel to the net is because when you're parallel, you're only required to cover two axes of save, which would be forward and vertical. So you don't have to worry about turning left and right to make a save on the ball. While most players, especially in the higher elo, like to go up backboard, and players in the lower elo like to go straight to the net and turn around, the problem with this is you're creating an extra axis in which you're forced to save the ball. So you have forward, up, or forward, vertical, and you have a horizontal where you're turning left and right to be able to save the ball, no matter where it comes at. So you're covering less of the net. And the same thing with backboard. To challenge from backboard, you have to jump off the wall, which, again, is you challenging horizontally away from the net. And you're still required to go forward or back, and then you're still required to gain horizontal or vertical momentum upward or downward to make touches on the ball. So it's more beneficial for you to stay grounded and rotate in through back post. And ideally, if your teammate is, forcing the ball, by the time you get to back post, if he doesn't make the touch, then it would just be your turn to drive up and take possession of that ball, while your teammate would then be rotating wide. Makes sense?
Yeah. See that.
Cool. All right, that's defensive positioning, first man and second man. Again, after you challenge the ball, this is your new first man, this is your second man, because after he challenged, you didn't get anything from it. Your goal is to rotate across the field horizontally, pick some pads up, and then rotate parallel to the net. So that way you're ready to save the ball. And if the ball ends up getting, pinched out center, or sent out center, then it's just your job to have just an open clear here, where 90% of the time you'll score in a rank lower than GC2 from touches like these. Yep. Make sure you're forcing his first man. Make sure you're rotating wide, picking boost up, and rotate parallel to the net. And after you get to the net, make sure you're not driving through the net and being on top of your first man, because then you're both in the same spot. And if the opponent ends up getting a good touch in which the ball goes around one of you, it goes around both of you at the same time. So now you're both overextended, while, if their team is positioned for that, then it's just an open goal.
So what's the next, if you were to say, what's the next step after they go back post? Because you want one person to be back post and the other person to be challenging the ball. What happens after they try to score, and let's just say a ball, and then they say they block it?
First man blocks or second man blocks?
I don't know if you want to do both scenarios.
Well, if first man blocks, it's normally either a win in which the ball goes forward, or a 50 in which the ball goes to the corner or out. The ball goes to the corner, if they can challenge again, they should. The ball goes out. Jesus Christ, I'm muting. Holy shit. Get it. All right. If the ball goes out, if you're able to challenge as first man, if you have momentum with the flip and you're still on the ball, it's your job to make sure you're still challenging. Don't just turn away from it, even if you don't have much boost. But if it's just a dead 50 in which you guys are locked and the ball goes into the corner, it would be second man's job to either win that ball or go for this ball. Obviously, if he can beat this guy. If not, then this guy will take it to the corner, and you'll end up forcing from the corner, while your teammate would probably cycle through the boost and back-to-back post.
Because I'm plat, these things might be obvious to you guys, but let's say the ball is closer to the dominus. Up the word dominus, and does he go for the ball then? In that situation with the first man, if the ball ends up closer to the dominus, he
They're both the dominant.
The blue dominus.
If the ball is closer to the blue dominus, it pinches out here,
yeah,
that's still his ball. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's based off of the distance type thing, right?
His timing is based off who can get to the ball faster.
Okay, that's fair.
Ability and then timing. Obviously, if Dominus is facing the wrong way with no boost, he doesn't have the ability to get to the ball, and maybe the Octane would be faster.
Okay. And then we could do this scenario where the Dominus blocks the ball.
So orange goes for the shot. Blue is trying to cover the shot. Orange takes the shot. It flies up, maybe towards the net or backboard. And it's just the Dominus's job to go up and save the ball. Obviously, if it's a shot on net, it's more important for you to make the touch on the ball and just clear it into the corner. If it's not a shot on net and it maybe bounces off backboard, if there's no immediate follow-up, which especially in lower rank, there's not going to be an immediate follow-up, off the double or anything like that. It's more important for you to let the ball bounce, and then for you to make sure you're hitting the ball here. It'll be in the air and fairly high, but making the touch here guarantees it'll go past the opponent, in which, your rotating teammate can just cut back in, take the power shot. It's goal.
Thanks.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Then offensive positioning. So let's say the opponents are one's rotating back, one's rotating into net. You know, the ball's up here. First man has possession of the ball. Ugh.
Yeah.
First man has possession of the ball. As a second man, the most important thing is timing, and the second most important thing is positioning. So the position, since the position is static, the position and the timing are static variables, but when you get to the position is dedicated on the timing, so you have to make sure they're matching. But the position you'd want to be at is wherever the ball is. You want to be within 1.5 to 2 boost lines behind the net. So if you notice, I know this map isn't exactly showing the accurate this size of the pitch, but you can draw lines from the boost pads except the center boost kickoff line. And all of these distances are almost the same. So you can use these as a distance of measurement between each boost line. And you use this to judge the distance between your car and where you should be as a second. So regardless of timing, the static position would want you 1.5 to 2 lines of boost behind the play. So if the ball, the play is where the ball is. So if the ball is right here, as a second man, you want to be within 1.5 to 2 lines of boost behind the play. Now that's vertical distance, you know, forward and back on the field. Now horizontal distance, you want to be with halfway in between the ball and front post. So here's our vertical distance, forward and back, horizontal distance, left and right. You want to be half the distance between the ball on the field. Obviously, this would be the line where the ball is, and front post would be the line where front post is. You're going to be half the distance of that. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm way too tired for this. Ignore that. Horizontally, you want to be in between front post and center net. So anywhere in this this channel is where you want your car to be horizontally as a position. And then again, you know, half the distance between, or 1.5 to 2 lines of boost behind the ball. So either here, here. So ideally, if the ball is here, you want to be within this box here, pretty much where you want your car to be. But that positioning is only dedicated on getting to play on time. So obviously this box changes depending on where the ball is, but the time in which your car needs to get to that box changes depending on when your teammate is gearing up for a shot. So let's say the ball is rolling up towards the corner and your teammate's just not, you know, just dribbling it straight to the corner, and he's recognized that they've given him some space. So he comes wide, maybe for a power shot. When you see your teammate turn wide, that's when you need to start accelerating to get into the position. So from here, you work on getting into position, and then by the time your teammate touches the ball, this would be the time in which you want to be in that block that I drew. So this would be the block, and this is when you want to be in that block, when your teammate's making the touch that is either a shot on net or a pass. Does that make sense? Makes sense, Larry.
Sorry, I had it on mute. It does. I did
Okay.
have a question where we did offense and defense, but what about the neutral zones, like I've in the middle? Because
Yeah, I would go over that after. It's the transition phase, yeah.
okay, yeah, because there's times where I'm late to the ball. Like let's say I'm playing defense and orange has the ball and there's space between them. That's when I kind of turn around and shadow a little bit, right?
You're late to the ball as a defensive first man.
Yeah, like that person has a lot of space already. How do you even respond to that?
Well, that would depend on whether your teammate's ready for you to challenge her. So, say this guy has possession of the ball and you're like back here because you overextended for boost or you got demoed or something.
Yeah, let's say I'm
So
a
he's
little bit
gotta-
more forward, but yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so he's got possession of the ball. It's your job to force him away from the net, obviously. So as a first man, it's especially in 2v2, it's not your job to shadow challenge or to shadow the opponent. It's your job to pressure the opponent, pressure them into doing something.
Hmm.
So regardless of anything, unless your teammate's just in their net and you're the last back, that would just be a one-on-one and you have to save the ball. But if your teammate's rotating back, it's your job to pressure the ball and force the ball, either cross where your teammate is or maybe into the corner where your teammate has time to pick boost, go back towards net. And, they would eventually be at the same time to save the ball.
So
But it's your job to force it.
Gotcha.
You do not want to drive towards the ball when they have possession and then turn around and then shadow.
All right. So just move the car where you recommend it should be for the blue car, like as the orange. Yeah. Like if you were to be driving, what would it look like?
Re-ask that question, reframe it. What are you saying?
If you were driving that car, just drag it to how it would work and where you think they should move their car, like left or right or something, or are they just going straight at the ball?
You want to drive challenge, and you want to drive challenge inside the shot angle.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, obviously, if you went to boost, then you'd want to come out, and then you'd want to come in to drive challenge into the shot angle, because your goal here would be to force the ball around the net
So
to give your teammate time to rotate.
You want the whole nose, basically. Yeah, to contact with the ball, ideally. Okay. The front of the car, yeah. Okay. All right, thanks.
Yeah, you have to drive challenge them.
Mhm.
Obviously, if you can challenge the ball, that's great. If you can get a bump, that's great. But you get pressure by staying on the ground and driving towards it.
Mhm.
That'll be enough pressure. You don't have to be supersonic and throwing yourself at the ball, but you just driving towards the ball is enough pressure for him to have to make a decision.
Okay, that's fair. And if the ball's in the air, if he pops the ball in the air, then you jump in the air too, basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
If the ball's in the air, you've only got two ways to save it, and that's going to be early as fuck
Mhm.
or late as fuck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So either challenge him immediately, because most players, unless you get to the very highest rank, when they make their first touch on the ball, end up getting a lot of distance between them and the ball in the air, height. So that would be the perfect time to cut them off.
And after he challenges this ball, where does the blue what's that word called? Octane go?
Where does the octane go? After he recovers, it's his job to do, make a list, rotate, horizontal rotation. Okay, so across the field, either way. Then second, it's your job to pick boost up, so you're not empty. And then third, it's your job to rotate back post. So here, you'd start a horizontal rotation. And it doesn't matter where you are. The reason you want to do a horizontal rotation is because you're covering the center field, and the center field is where plays happen. So if your teammate ends up making a touch, forward on this center field, and you're in the center field, all you can like miraculously just jump and get a pop, and the ball goes over them and into the net. That's one way. Another way is the opponents have possession, and maybe they got the beat around to this guy, and when this guy tries to get to the play, you're going to be in his way, and you can just bump him off the play. That's another good way to do it. That, and it's going to be more beneficial in your pursuit to gain boost, because obviously if every player is on the left, the left side of the pitch, or the north in this picture scenario, if every player is on the top side of this pitch, then the only boost pads that are going to be readily available are the ones on the opposite side. So you're giving yourself space to grab boost because these pads are still going to be here. That, and obviously you're rotating back post. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the only time on offense as a second man, you don't want to be 1.5 to 2 lines of boost and in the center pocket, is when your first man has a clearing possession readily available. So let's say, this guy got demoed and he just spawned here. This guy just full rotated back like this. So he's not even pressuring the ball. Maybe he's going for boost. When your teammate has full possession of the ball, instead of you being behind him here, you got to recognize that there's all this open space. So it's more beneficial for you to drive forward and maybe a little bit wider, so that way you can capitalize on this open space. So your teammate can make the shot forward and you can cut in to make like a power shot into the net, or at least pressure that. Now, that's how it works when you have an open possession on your half of the field. If you have an open possession on their half of the field, maybe this guy's not challenging you. He's just like shadowing for some reason, and this guy's watching his teammate. Instead of you being in the same spot, it's more beneficial for you to drive closer and tighter to the ball, so your teammate can make a midfield pass in which you're able to get to the ball very quickly. Because you don't want a midfield pass forward and across, because that's just going to play into the opponent's hands instead of your teammate's hands. And you don't just want to be straight across, because if your teammate tries to make this clear across, then he's just going to get beat by the orange player. Obviously, the only chance he won't get beat by the orange player is if the ball is very high, in which being cross is fine. But ideally, you keep the ball fairly low and fairly fast, and you're passing at center, and your teammates rotating in and taking a power shot. That makes sense?
Well, yeah, I guess so. I need to look again into it, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay. So clearing position. Second man.
Whenever you're done with the stuff, I do have a question, but I want you to
Go ahead.
Okay. So, not necessarily me, but a lot of people, a lot of my friends, I'm trying to think about how to phrase this. They don't believe in rotations because they think that you give the person with the ball too much space. That is they think that you just need to be on the ball. Like that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Applying pressure as a first man is your job.
Okay, but
it's always been your job.
When we did a scenario where we try to do the 50 and then we rotate around to back post?
Mm-hmm.
Well, since you're saying the applying pressure, like if he's not rotating back to back post, then he does have to shadow him, right? Well,
no, he doesn't shadow, but what I said before that is if they make a touch in which your teammate can have some momentum towards the ball, it's his job to follow the ball.
Oh, okay. And even if they were in midfield, that would be the same scenario, right? Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's first man is closer to the ball and more able to challenge the ball. Remember, challenges is based on ableness, and then it's based on distance from the ball.
And it's what happens
ableness would be momentum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, if your teammate just like bumps the opponent after they make the touch, they're both gonna look like this, and the ball's just flying away from them. He can't really do anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that answers a lot. So thank you.
Yeah. But I mean, in the offense, like if first man's challenging the ball, second man's creeping up. If first man makes the challenge on the ball and the ball's just like at 50 over here, obviously second man can't beat first man to the ball. So it'd still be first man's ball to challenge.
And
even if he's in a bad spot, this guy ends up challenging, it'd still be his job to force this ball out to the center, in which, your second man would be.
okay, so thanks for that. And this is for the viewers. A lot of times, especially in lower elo, like that blue octane would pretend the ball is where the orange Dominus is, and then move the Dominus back and move the other one to like back post or something. This to make it easier, and the octane is by that ball. A lot of times the octane will stay by that ball a lot of times, and it would be good if you give the most common scenarios in which the octane needs to go back and rotate back, because I see it a lot of times where the octane
the only time you rotate out is when you're not able. Remember, challenges is based on ableness and then distance. So what defines ableness? Obviously boost to height. So if the ball is very high and you don't have boost, you can't do anything about it, right?
Yeah.
There's one segment of ableness. Beats, like the opponent having beats on you. Obviously that has no ableness because you can't get to the ball, right? If this guy is just beating this guy, then there's no point in challenging at all. He might as well just rotate out.
Like the opponent's car is closer to the ball in a way. Yeah, I got it.
Well, it's not about closeness. It's about like the angle of beat, right? So if this guy is beating him to the ball but playing it to the wall, then it's more beneficial, instead of just driving towards it and turning away, to recognize that all you got to do is just get in front of him and stop it.
Oh, like, can you win the 50-50? Can you win this situation? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, does your presence have meaning to the play?
Okay, that's fair.
Any more question on that?
In regards to boost, and I don't even want this to be like particular when you said like if you have low boost, it's again for the viewers. If you had to give a number as to like, okay, if the boost is below 40, then you rotate. Like this for simplicity and argument's sake, what number would you basically give?
I mean, 12 boost, which is one pad, is enough to get to the height of the net.
Yeah.
So if you are directly under the ball and you have 12 boost, you're still able to challenge.
Okay. So if they have 12 or more boost, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you have to be under the ball directly to be able to make that challenge. Mm-hmm. Now, if the ball is, higher, maybe it's like up to this height, then you're going to need 2 pads worth.
Yeah.
So it's 2 pads worth, 24, to be able to make that challenge. And again, that's dictated on the ball being directly where the car is, like directly under it. Obviously, you can have a little bit of leeway, but you can't be challenging from back here with 24 and make it to the ball.
And at what point does the blue Dominus know to go in? Like, what does the blue octane need to do? Do you remember what I said on the offensive positioning? When do you want to be? When do you want to be in that second position? Once the blue rotates, the blue octane rotates.
Yeah,
around.
Right before you see your teammate go to make the challenge, in which the ball is either a pass or a shot on net. Mm-hmm. That's when you accelerate. When you see him getting ready for it, that's when you accelerate to position, and that'll put you in position. Now, obviously, if it's a 50 and the ball wins out like this, you have to make a split decision whether you can beat them to the ball and you need to turn and challenge, or whether you just need to rotate out and let your teammate force after.
And we don't want the blue octane to do circles, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't want him to go around and do a small circle. That's a no-no, right?
Well, I mean, unless his momentum dictates it, like if he takes the 50 here and he goes over here, then
And
he's
then
going
he
to have
goes for the
around
ball
to be able to
again.
challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what you want. Ideally.
Well, I mean, if you are first man, it doesn't matter if you're spinning around. You still got a challenge.
Well, I mean, if he challenges the first time and misses, that's what I mean. Sorry.
Then again, it comes down to ableness.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
can he challenge the ball from here? Can he challenge
No.
the ball? It depends on how much momentum Dominus has, right?
Yeah.
If Dominus looks like he doesn't have any boost and he's just flipping and the ball's going up the wall, then that means Blue can probably just pick this up, like demo Dominus off the wall when he's going for it, and just have possession of the ball.
Thanks. I didn't know that. I'm glad I asked. I don't have any
Any more
particular
questions?
questions. What I'll do is I'll show this to my friends, and if whatever questions they have, I'll let you know. But none
No,
on
that's
top of my
fair.
head.
I'll just quickly go over transitions now.
Okay.
Transitions from defense to offense and offense to defense. So I guess the most common would be or offense to defense. So after first man challenges the ball, obviously when he isn't able to follow the ball up, maybe he gets a bad touch or something. It's his job to rotate cross and then rotate back. It's the Dominus's job to rotate. Obviously when he sees the Octane going for the ball, it's his job to recognize, the distance when about it looks like he's going to challenge. Then you start gaining acceleration into his challenge. You start you pretty much are shadowing your player's momentum, like you're copying their momentum. And then when they get to the challenge from here, again, you have to make that quick decision. Can you turn and make that immediate challenge? If the ball is over here, yes, you can. But still go for it. If your teammate is now second. If your teammate's first man again, you're like, okay, now he can't do anything. He doesn't have any momentum. There's no point in me being here. So I'm going to start rotating out again, start rotating back. And when rotating back, again, you have to pay attention to, does my teammate have possession? Is my teammate turning to make a shot on net or the pass? Then you have to turn to be back in that center second position. That makes sense?
Yeah. Try to stay center, stay available. Yeah. For the second man.
Yeah. Yeah, you say stay center and stay available. That's very static. Okay, you do not want to be static at all. You want to have momentum. You want to be drive challenged.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, dry. I'm just trying to. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Is that the only neutral? Oh yeah, you got another neutral.
And then defense to offense. Obviously, when first man is challenging the ball, if he ends up winning the ball forward and can follow it, maybe this guy just overcommitted or something, then this Dominus would go from back post and move up into that center position. If the play is accelerating rapidly and, it looks like there's a good chance he will take the play towards the net quickly, then you want to make sure you're shadowing or, keeping pace with that distance, 1.5 to 2 lines of boost behind. And then when he makes that play, whatever the result is, you're in a good position to do something about it.
Gotcha.
But if your teammate's going
to me
for
in voice chat, oh my god!
But if you hit the ball, if your teammate's going towards the wall with the ball, maybe to grab the boost, then you being in a center position isn't going to be beneficial because your teammate isn't set up or taking the immediate shot or pass. Right? He's controlling it and then he's taking the shot. So that means as a second man, you want to make sure you're controlling your rotation, pick some pads up, and then you want to go into that second position. So you want to make sure you're pretty much shadowing or copying what your teammate does, but inversely mostly. So if your teammate's controlling the ball, you need to control your rotation, and then when your teammate's going for the shot, then you need to be going for your position.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a whole lot of, first man challenges, throws possession, and then second man challenges. While first man's rotating, pick pads up, maybe get a demo. He sees second man is going for the shot again, and then first man goes back to second, and then it's just like a repeat, right?
Yeah.
And then force, and then maybe orange team gets the ball past first man. Again, first man's rotating back, second man's rotating forward. You know, obviously, since you're first man here, you would not rotate towards back post. You'd rotate towards front post to challenge and pressure. And then while cutting into challenge and pressure, you want to stay inside that shot angle and challenge the ball so you can force it away. It's more beneficial to force it in the direction in which your teammate is.
All right, let's pretend. Bring that blue octane to the right mid boost, and then bring it to the one that's the small one. No, up. Yeah, that there. So yeah, perfect. So and then bring the ball between the blue Dominus and the orange octane. So, is there, like, I know we talked about ableness, but sometimes I see in the game, instead of the Dominus, if after they do whatever they do, like a 50 or a challenge, a lot of times the Dominus stays left to like block the ball. How do the rotations typically look in that sense that the orange octane is pushing the ball and the Dominus is going left?
Okay, so the question you're asking is what to do about overzealous or over-eager teammates, right?
Oh, okay.
That's what you're asking, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So you're
If they turn
so
the car
your
left.
teammate's still forcing, and he's not challenging or anything like that. What do you do?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what is first man's job and what is second man's job? First man's job is to pressure and force the opponents to do something bad. So pressure for any kind of win. Second man's job is, remember, it's two things, from offense to defense. It's that rotate horizontally, and then it's the pick the boost up, and then it's the rotate to back post. There is nothing after that.
Okay.
Anything after that would be first man.
Okay.
So the easiest way to explain that would be if you can recognize that your teammate's stalling earlier, or your teammate's going to force 40 times earlier, and the ball's no threat to the shot, then take extra time to pick boost up.
Okay.
Take that extra time to pick boost up. Just go for a joyride. You don't have to be supersonic. Just drive challenge, because it's your teammate's job to save the ball. And if he's just forcing into the corner, that means you got all the time in the world. And it's more beneficial for you to be in position on time. On time meaning having momentum, than it is for you to be in position out of time, which obviously means no momentum. But if you've already gotten to back post, maybe you have unlimited boost or you have 100 boost, then you just wait. You wait until you wait until you think you're first man. And as soon as you think you're first man, be confident and challenge and pressure the ball.
Yeah. And you would think that you're first man because the ball's closer to you and the other teammate, the ability part and boost.
As soon as you think you have more ability than your teammate, maybe it's like this. You'd be like, okay, that's my ball now.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks. I think
It doesn't matter if you and your teammate are on the same have the same ability. If you believe you're first man, it's more important for you to be confident than it is for you to fuck up. So challenging would be more beneficial for you than half committing and then like saying, oh, maybe my teammate's got it, so I'm going to turn around, or I'm going to stand here and wait on front post. It's more beneficial to commit to your decision.
Gotcha.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. One of my threes coaches said, you say awkward or I got it as the bare minimum. Awkward is if you're the Dominus, and I got it would be the octane in this situation.
Yeah, but don't listen to that because that's subjective.
Oh, okay.
What is that subjective to? That's subjective to each individual's consistency under pressure.
I see.
Because some players aren't very consistent at challenging the ball when it's directly above them. So they'll be like, nah, I'm awkward, I'm rotating out. When you shouldn't do that because you're first man and you're able, so you need to challenge.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Would you want the Dominus to challenge even though he might miss it? I think most people say it's better to challenge, and at least this way you're.
I just said that. not even a minute ago. I just said it's more important for you to commit to your decisions than it is for you to miss the ball.
I told you I got mental disability, so it's
you're
hard.
good.
Yeah.
You're good. You're recorded, and you can look over it later. But it's more important
Mhm.
to be confident in your decisions than it is for you to fuck up, because
Okay.
you can learn from failure.
Uh-huh.
And mechanical failure is an easy fix. Go into free play. Go into a custom training. Go into the custom map. It doesn't matter. Just train. Training fixes mechanical inconsistency. Hesitation, there is no fix other than to stop hesitating.
Yeah. So thanks. This is helpful.
Anything else?
Not from me. I don't know if anyone else has anything to say.
I coach them enough, and I don't really go over this with them much.
Yeah, they're higher levels, right? So
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
playing with straight autism. I'm just getting in 1500 games right now. I don't know how that's possible.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't say anything bad.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I guess if there's nothing else, I could stop the recording.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. And do I have your permission to put this on YouTube? And I'll send you the link too. Okay. Thanks, Stubby.
Yes.
I appreciate it.